Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today, we want to talk about form and value because that's form that you need to know is three-dimensional. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Remember, your form section is going to be similar to what you see with that those shapes and spheres right there. So you can use that as an idea of kind of what you want to do for form. It's three-dimensional. And value is the one you see as just a straight value drawing of the apple behind me. So let's share so you can see, okay, what we're gonna do. All right, so today is Thursday. You're gonna upload your work here. You're gonna listen to this lecture and upload 5 notes from the lecture. One of the things I wanted to go over is understanding the elements of art, and let's go ahead and get started with that. Couple of things that we want to share with you guys from current slide. All right, so you know that there's 7 elements of art: line, shape, texture, form, value, and space. And line, of course, we went over that before, is the path of a moving, is the path that a point takes through space. So there's horizontal lines, vertical lines, zigzag lines. Those are some things that you can know as well as to put in your notes. Vertical lines seem to be reaching, so they can kind of like spiral up. Diagonal lines seem to be kind of disturbing, zigzag looking lines. And it talks about different expressive type of lines that can relate to emotion and excitement. Those are some things that you can view as well. These are also some expressive lines that they use here. When you use, when we get to form, I want to go to form so you can kind of see form is a shape that becomes three-dimensional, has height, width, and depth. So think of it as like geometric shapes that sort of turn into three-dimensional forms, okay? And one of the things that we notice about this is that triangles can be turned into a pyramid, a square can be turned into a cube. So those are some things you need to think about. How can you break up that object into those forms and turn it into a form? Shading and value, remember you have to think about where the light source is coming from, and it's going to go from dark to light. Think about your cast shadow that's underneath as well. Value is the lightness and the darkness of a color. You need to remember that. Also, remember that you have to know where this light source is so that you can make your object look as real as possible. There are no outlines with value, so make sure you don't use outlines when you do value. And you have to have a full range of value, going from dark to light, and think about contrast too. The value section, you can use hatching, cross hatching, or blending. Remember, we did that in Art 1. So remember stippling, you can do value with stippling. That's up to you. You can do that section like that. And you can just go from dark to light using soft shading. So think about what you want to do. I'm going to exit out of this PowerPoint, but think about what you want to do for that value section and make sure that it's done correctly and that you have that full range of value and that it looks realistic, okay? For that form section, I want you to look at this one for form. For form, they kind of right here, you see how they turned that deer into forms? They just turned it into different types of spheres and pyramids and cones and cubes, and they broke it up. That's all you're going to do. So this is a perfect example of how that section should look. So you can use this as inspiration and change the colors a bit so you won't actually copy that. Look at this one form. They just broke it into simple forms, triangle, pyramids and spheres, things of that nature. So think about how you're going to do that. Okay, excuse my baby, I'm sorry, she's excited. So that's just an example of what you would do for this project, and let me know if you have any questions concerning that. I want to make sure that I cover everything. Today's Thursday. And that's the main thing. I want you to master form and value. Make sure that you take time for these sections because those sections are going to matter the most to make your work look realistic. So please make sure you do that. Make sure you focus on that and go from there. I'm so excited to see what you're going to do. Remember, your sketch is due tomorrow. So you need to work on that and get that completed of what you're going to do behind me. I'm excited to see it. All right, thank you.